Nice job.
Thanks.
You did the hard stuff.
Yeah, I told you.
That's what we do around here.
I've got my own patrol around here.
Yeah. This one's right in my backyard. Australia's mid-north coast has an array of four-wheel drive tracks to tackle, views to take in and hidden gems to find. Joined again by TJ Jack, Nick, Bree, Dad and the crew from Outback Equipment as I lead the way in the big GU to navigate some of Broken Bago State Forest best. Mate, I could have told you that 2 hours ago. You went right up on the bank. I thought it was going to look worse than this. That guard there is tinted in a bit. Proudly supported by Outback Equipment, Tread, and in part by. Back again for part 2 of our Outback Equipment trip. Today we're going for a local drive out Broken Bago State Forest. So I think I'm leading the way again and showing everyone the local tracks. I couldn't beat TJ in the nav, my nav versus his nav, so I thought maybe today I'd bring the patrol and see if I can beat him with the patrol versus nav situation. We just pulled up here at the start of the forest and waiting for the rest of the guys to catch up, and then we'll get into it. And
stay strong, stay strong. To the table. Ain't easy, I can tell. Gotta stay strong.
you brought the liability this time.
Right, with no recovery gear. Is this date day?
Yeah mate, date day, date night, I got it all. You brought... Coming in?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Before we get started, I brought everyone to this little local swimming spot, but everyone always says they're going to go for a swim, then we get here and I always end up being the only one swimming. Everyone else just stands there and watches, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, yeah, can we go to a waterfall and I'm going to have a swim and I'm going to have a swim, and then no one does. Before we get too far into the video, I'm going to quickly interrupt to let you know that Outback Equipment, the same guys who we are on this trip with and who we did the Barrington trip with last weekend, they've organised a $1,000 gift card that one of you guys can win. So they do an absolutely massive range of gear on their website: four-wheel driving, caravanning, boating, fishing, pretty much anything you want, you name it, they'll have it. They've always got sweet deals running. Here you can see during the month of May, they've got a special on the Light Force lights, on the HTX2s and the Genesises. But for the $1,000 giveaway, there are two things that you have to do to enter the competition. Number one being make sure you are subscribed to the Outback Equipment YouTube channel. The second condition being on this video, leave a comment down below on what you would spend the $1,000 gift card on, and I'll pick one lucky winner. Alright, back to the video. First track of the day is Bago Steps. It's sunny again now, but between the swim and coming here we had a shower of rain which just soaked it to make us a little bit more exciting for us. So there's massive steps here. There's a big step down the bottom, you can go around that bit, and then there's another big step up the top there, but that's a one way only. I'm not actually sure who's driving this year. I don't think all vehicles will. I'm up first in the patrol it seems, so I get to test it out. First one up, which always makes me a bit nervous, but should be alright. Put that front locker in. It's a bit of a bad angle. When I'm coming back, have I got to go higher on that rear? Yeah, so this angle's going to get a fair bit worse.
Keep coming, keep coming.
It went well for me. Wouldn't have happened. I was on a little bit of a funny angle, and given the wet, slippery conditions, it was safer to grab the winch out and quickly pull me up over this section.
Front locker.
Yeah, you put front in?
Yeah.
You nervous now?
Yeah, he didn't make it look easy.
Well, what do you reckon I go here, the left or the right?
If I was to do it, I'd go high on that bank. So you're sort of straddling that hole there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Break it out!
Alright, that's that bottom step. I've driven that bottom step in the nav, and then I'm doing the patrol and just turns into a disaster. I just got my lines all mangled up, but anyways, that's what happens, and I drove this top one there all good. Nick was up next in his unlocked Holden. After seeing the patrol struggle on that big step, he decided to take the easier option around the first bit, but after that he would have no choice but to tackle the top step. Yeah. With the smaller tyres, no lockers, and the slippery conditions of the track, Nick had to pull out the winch to bring him up over this step. That's Nick up in his Rodeo. So the bottom step you can drive around, which I said earlier, so he drove around that. I just got caught out on this top step here. It's sort of hard to get the angle on. You can see where he just dragged the whole way up it. It's definitely slippery out here too after that shower. Like you're not getting the traction that you wish you had. You're slipping and sliding a bit on the mud stuff in between the rocks. I feel better, I didn't get completely embarrassed. She just drives up it straight away.
Yeah.
Buried very hard on that diff. He's right in the middle of it.
Slowly.
Bree was the third and final vehicle to attempt this hill climb, and the third and final vehicle to fall victim to this hill climb. So I was out with a winch to winch her up over that big step down the bottom there. She's bloody slippery, boys.
Uh-huh.
What do you reckon, the nav next, TJ? Yeah, outdrive the patrols?
I've got the canopy excuse.
Oh, yeah. I was just standing there thinking, if Bree drives up this whole thing easy, I'm just walking home. You can see it's just very slippery out here in the wet. Compared to driving this track in the dry, it's a very different story. But yeah, wet, we're just slipping and sliding everywhere. We're all back up off that track now and met up with the others. TJ pulled I've got too heavy a canopy on card, so he couldn't do it. But I don't blame him. And it was getting more and more slippery as each car went up, so it was going to be an interesting time. Are you talking to me, Nick?
Yeah, mate. I just want to ask you how it feels. You got 10 grand worth of suspension, twin locks, and a $10,000 Rodeo with a $300 King's winch. Made it just as far as you, mate.
Well, mate, when you drive around the highway next to the actual track, I'm not sure if you count that as making it further.
Mate, I got more suspension travel nowhere, actually. No suspension travel at all.
We're going to head up Bago Mountain for a look now. Check out that sick lookout up there, overlooking the whole cliff and valley below. And I think we'll do a couple more tracks this afternoon. Next stop on our little Broken Bago local tour is the Bluff. You can drive your car right, you can drive it straight off the cliff if you wanted to, not that you would obviously want to do that. But yeah, walk right up to the edge here and then massive drop down below you there, but everyone's up here. Pretty awesome spot to check out. Enjoy that massive view all around you. So I thought I'd come out and show everyone the start of a little Mousetrap where you drive in under the road through that tunnel, through the creek and up this big hole. But I said to everyone, stop, we're going to have a look at it first. Probably best to drive down it and then just drive through the tunnel to get some cool shots and that. But for some reason Nick was like, no, I'm just going to send it down there. And I was like, no, don't do that. So just send it down there. And now he's just down there doing who knows what, trying to get his car up here somehow. So I'm just getting ready to winch him up. Mate, what are you doing? Where are you going? You're not getting up there. Like, there's actual no way he's driving that. So, what? Mate, I could have told you that 2 hours ago.
Wait, someone had to try it.
Anyone else? Okay, Nick didn't get up there. He turned around and got out of here. I've given Demi the keys. When it gets hard, I just get her to drive. And then so she's going to try to come down this right. Our only concern is just leaning into that bank, but it should be alright. Now, nice and slow.
$10 if you run him over.
Yeah.
Right, 50.
Yeah, perfect. And then you just got to remember your back's going to come down in a sec, so get ready to control that as best you can. Now start turning that way. Yep. Now back's coming down. Yep. Perfect. Now just nice and slow again, if you can. See if it'll climb? Yeah. Just go slow for the back. Nice job.
Thanks.
You did the hard stuff.
Yeah, I told you.
That's what we do around
I'll
here.
drive my own patrol around here.
Yeah. I didn't get back in time to properly shoot Bree, but she's coming down it now in the patrol, so can't see very well, but seems to be going alright there. After we came out of that tunnel, just continuing along some of the tracks out the forest here, Nothing too hard, these ones, but at least everyone can have a go and get in on the fun a bit. Clunky back here.
Alright, that's great.
More mud, mate. Your favourite. Now, as I said, I thought the majority of this track was relatively easy, but I'd forgot to factor in the amount of rain we had in the last 12 months, and it chewed an absolutely massive rut right near the end of this track. So things got a little bit interesting from this point. He literally just does not care. My only thing is like all the parts where he hit his tray. That's going to be our panels. that wall riding worked well, mate.
Oh, did it? Your turn.
This is probably the worst part to hit, isn't it?
So after Nick just managed to plough his way through there in the Rodeo, I had no choice at this point but to have a crack in the Patrol too. I was a little bit nervous, my main concern being leaning into the bank and damaging the panels on the driver's side.
Left.
Can't roll anything. Can you do front locker maybe, that one? Yeah, you'll be right. Yep.
Remember what you said, Dad, about when you go forward driving, if you don't do it, you sit at home wishing, thinking, what if you did do it?
Yeah, well.
This is it.
I feel like shit.
I'll take that back. We're nearly at the end of this track, and there's just this absolutely monster rut here. It's so big. So Nick went down first. I was like, all right, if we were going to do this, you go first, because he's got the tray and just sort of dragged along the bank there. My main concern with the Patrol was leaning the whole side of it into that bank and wiping the whole thing out, but I eventually got convinced to go in there and just made it through, just ploughed a bit with the bull bar and those flares on the side there. I don't know who else is coming up next. TJ was trying to back up to let Bree in and somehow ended up on stuck in another massive rut up here. Bloody hell, mate. What's going on?
Didn't see this, man. It just slid into it. There's more rut behind me. It's just going to keep in the same rut.
Yeah. What about putting a winch on your pulley block on your slider? Pull him that way, and as he goes forward, we keep holding him that direction.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's my only idea. Just trying to formulate a plan to get TJ's car out of this mess. So, problem is he's sitting very close to caving both doors in. So I think we're going to pulley block him off a tree in the bush there, and then try pull him across while he can drive out. And then I think the others at this point are just going to go back the way we came, because you know that's nice and easy, and get out of here, and might be just Nick and I keep going and meet them around on the road. Like he's got his blinker on. That's how we know he's going to be alright. That joke. Turn that way. Bit more? Yeah. Here's the 36-week pregnant girl trying to walk down the very slippery tracks.
What did you say?
He's out all good. No damage, thankfully. Kept him off that bank. So I'm doing 2 pulley blocks off Breeze Patrol there on the back and off Sean's Ranger at the front. So just pull both ends as he came out forward and that was all good. You made it, mate. No damage. Just lost 10 years off your life from stress. Another fun day forward driving. Any normal person would have just gone like a nice little waterfall, look out, made one little track.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you're with me. TJ's turned around. Bree in the patrol and Dad in the MUX is still going to come down and send it down this rut, see what happens. Dad's doing plenty of looking there. Yeah. Gauging out the rut. I've only told a couple of people the last few days your progression of four-wheel driving. Like I was four-wheel driving for a year or 18 months or something, and you weren't that interested. Yeah. And then you got the MUX, and it was a pretty cautious first couple of years.
It was,
And then it slowly progressed to the point we're at now.
Yeah.
The last few months, there's not much holding you back.
Yeah, I mean there.
Like at that track at Lithgow, and me and the other guy were standing there thinking, let's turn around, and you just launch it up there. I was always the one pushing you, and now there's none of that needed.
You lose too much sleep if you don't do it. You're better off losing a bit of paint than sleep.
Yeah.
Bree was up next to tackle the massive rut. Bree managed to navigate her way through that rut with relative ease. Dad was keen to have a go next and see if he could show up the big patrols in his MUX.
On the steer I'm on.
Yeah. You went right up on the bank. I thought it was going to look worse than this.
I had my arm that far hanging up here to keep me from flying out of the seat. I thought I was going to touch it.
That guard there is tinted in a bit, but your doors and stuff are alright. Yeah, right hand down a bit. Yeah, a little bit more. What's that? Yeah, keep going. Yeah, we're going to lose that tyre. You're putting a lot of stress on it. You're coming, bud. You aren't moving. Yeah, you're good. That way. Yeah. Maniac.
Yeah, down the bottom there.
Down the bottom. The only thing you've done is you put a dent in that guard a bit there.
Yeah.
Not exactly sure what happened on the day, but somehow I managed to completely forget to film an outro at all. When I was editing, the video just stopped. But awesome day out on the tracks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. When we got home and washed Dad's car up a bit, there was a couple little dents sort of on that guard around his tyre there, but he said he couldn't care less. He was like, bought this four-wheel drive to use it four-wheel driving, so I'm not going to stress about some little dents and scratches here and there as long as the thing still works. Don't forget about that $1,000 giveaway. So if you haven't entered that yet, make sure you're subscribed to Outback Equipment's YouTube channel and leave a comment down below on what you would spend that $1,000 on their website. And I think that's about it. I'll see everyone in the next video. Bye. Also, that video was filmed a fair while, like 3 months ago now, because Demi was pregnant in the video, and now we have baby Zeph, who is, how old is he now?
2 months.
Bit over 2 months old. Hi Zeph, who is currently sleeping. do the sound, boom boom boom, boom boom boom, check test.
What are you doing, Nippy? You're gonna go back like that. Perfect. Hi guys. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay, Jesus.